Welcome back to Grizzly Connect. Bryant Johnson with Caitlin Boal of the ASC women's basketball program. 5 3-pointers last week, Caitlin. ASC has been looking for a three-point shooter all year. Deanna Reich, she led the team in threes before she went down with the devastating knee injury. Morgan Fitter, obviously a capable three-point shooter, but has struggled this year as a freshman. So for you to step up, hit 5 threes in a win against a conference opponent, how does that change the complexion of this offense?
Well, I think it gives it more of like a broader aspect of everything. It allows like the inside play to be or to develop more as well as the outside play because defenses aren't just going to crash down on Chloe and I, which is what a lot of them were doing. So now it just kind of opens it up having the outside threat. Therefore, we can play in and out. So it just makes it a little bit easier for both of us.
At various points in the game, you were matched up with 3 separate Springs post players, and it was amusing to watch all 3 completely lose the capability to guard a post on the perimeter. When you are capable of stretching the defense, what's something you notice against an opponent that's typically not familiar with guarding someone 20 feet away from the hoop?
Well, I know like if I was having to guard somebody outside, it's like, well, shoot, are they going to take me to the basket or are they going to shoot it in my face? Because you don't want to get beat either way. So it's just a matter of like, well, I hope she doesn't make it, but at the same time, I have to respect it because you have to respect a shooter. I mean, that's just, you have to. It's common sense for a defender, but at the same time, you don't want to give up the line drive. So it's just a matter of like being aware of both and playing just to your abilities as a defender to the best that you can. And if they're on, they're on. You know, like there's really nothing you can do unless you foul them. Then that's what you don't want to do. But other than that, that's just something you're going to have to do.
It's Caitlin Boal with the ASC women's basketball team. 2 of her threes came on baseline inbounds in the corner, which is just a very unique addition to your game. You know, I just remember growing up, you'd have a lot of coaches that if you had a 4 or 5 on the team that could shoot the 3. I know on my team growing up, there were strict orders. I don't care that you can hit it. Don't even think about it. Your post, get in there. It seems like there's been a change in the last 10 years maybe. Post players are allowed to step back a little more. But growing up, what type of resentment, if any, did you meet when you'd want to step out and shoot the 3?
Well, when I wanted to shoot three, it was just kind of like proving yourself. Like, can you shoot it? Can you make it? It's a difference to shoot it versus to make it. Like, anybody can shoot the ball. It's just becoming more consistent. I know Coach definitely emphasized I wasn't shooting threes very well earlier in the season. It was get in the gym, shoot the ball, like work yourself up to it. And so finally, once I was able to hit, it was just kind of like, okay, my hard work's paid off, but yet I can't settle with that. Like it's still, you still need to get more shots up. The more you get, the better. It's just a matter of like being able to like prove yourself shooting wise. Like, yeah, you can shoot it, but just make sure you're able to make it. And it's like, it's an athletic position versus a 2 second on the shot clock jack up. So
Well, and playing for Coach, Coach Kruger always has very specific roles that he expects all of his players to fulfill. This is quite apparent to ASC fans who followed last year's team and this year's, knowing that Javonica and Deanna and Chloe, both Chloes, they all had very different roles last year. A lot of people probably don't realize that even you, as a practice player, when you came in at the first of the year last year, coming in from Air Force, your role from being even a practice player last year was extremely different. I rarely saw you stray to the perimeter in practices last year when you were helping the team. What did Coach tell you when you came in and had to sit out for the rest of the year as a transfer, but still had to practice, and then into this season when you could actually play?
Coach pretty much emphasized you need to bring everything you've got. Even though you can't play, you need to help us to get better. So it was just a matter of like emphasizing, like do your abilities to the best of your ability and give us a different look, a different wrinkle. Because if you can go out, great. If you play inside, then that's going to help us bang with the post, which I got beat up pretty bad at the beginning because, weight program that they do here was very strenuous, and it was a definite difference whenever I first came in here versus now. And so it was just like we had practice players that could shoot the ball, so it was more my role was to be inside, be a cutter, be a screener, and that's kind of what he told me this year was be a screener, create action. If you get out and you can shoot the ball, like pose that threat, but also be an inside presence.
When you're a part of a team, but as just a practice player, and you've come in mid-season, how involved in the success of the team do you feel when you're not actually playing?
It's hard because I'm very much a competitor, so it's for me it was hard because I didn't get to play with them and I just struggled, but at the same time it's fun. Like you're still there and you just know you're going to be able to be part of that next year, so therefore you just get to work towards it. So it's a matter of like a pre-development. It's kind of like a red shirt but without being redshirting. So it's just a matter of like giving you that development to go and get to where you need to be, which is where I am now. I'm not completely where I need to be, but at the same time, I'm starting to get it. I get the program. I get what Coach Kruger wants us to do. And so I think having that semester to develop has helped me a lot now and be more of like an upperclassman versus like a sophomore transfer freshman, not really knowing what's going on.
It's Caitlin Boal with the ASC women's basketball team. The New Mexican committed to Air Force out of high school. What was something you took away from your short time on campus at Air Force?
You definitely like learn a lot of leadership skills and like being a follower and a leader, because you have to be able to be a follower before you can be a leader. And I know like for a lot of people that's hard. It was hard for me at first. It also just like develops you for anything pretty much. Like basic training, you go through that's a whole different aspect of things. And there's also like you don't realize how brilliant some people are, but at the same time like how common sense lacking they are as well. So it's like you get a broad mix of people, like you get a very big spectrum. So it's interesting, but it's fun. Like you learn a lot, and the classes are very, very strenuous, and you just learn a lot of like study skills and leadership and stuff like that. But it's fun.
Do you get to keep the beret?
No. Well, like I kept all my uniforms and stuff, but at the same time, you don't get a beret till your junior and senior year, so I didn't get to be part of that, but that's all right.
Tougher drill instructor, the individuals you encountered at Air Force or Kelly Kruger?
That's a good question. No, I don't know. It's just a whole different aspect of things, but Coach Kruger definitely demands a lot, but I respect it. I respect the program for it. I respect him for it, and that's why he's been so successful here, so.
He's made it quite clear that these holiday intervals would really determine the 2012 season for ASC, playing until Thanksgiving, how you responded after the Thanksgiving break, and playing up until Christmas. After Thanksgiving break, you were dealt a horrible hand when Deanna Reich messed up her knee and is probably lost for the year. But the win against Springs and the competitive flow against Pueblo leads a lot of people to believe that the next 3 games before the 2011 portion of the season ends, that you're going to be in a perfect position for a 2012 run. How close are you?
I think that we're getting there. It's just a matter of if we bring the intensity to practice. That's one thing that coach has emphasized a lot this week is he needs people to bring that intensity, the fire, the drive, because we're not trying to like feed off of a cancer with one person bringing us down, and because that's what we've struggled with at the beginning of this season. Just having that lack of intensity, that lack of fire and drive, like to practice. But now it's become a lot more competitive, and coach was just, if you're going to play like freshmen, he'll play freshmen. That he emphasized that to all the upperclassmen, to everybody. But at the same time, we can't play like freshmen. We have to be adults. We have to be women, and actually go out there and grind versus settle and just do the bare minimum. No, like that's not what this program's about. That's not what we're about. So it's just a matter of coming out, busting butt, and then not settling for the minimum, just trying to achieve the best that we can. And then therefore, once we do that, it'll help us to be more successful in the 2012 run, if that's what you called it, I think. So
it'll be a hectic portion of the schedule. Once, of course, Christmas ends, it's 2 games every week for the rest of the year until really the last week of February. Good luck, Caitlin.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's Caitlin Boal with the ASC women's basketball team.